Hi, Joudie.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So last time we talked, we were talking about Palestine on a plate, but today we have a new book, Baladi.
Yes.
How excited are you?
The most excited.
It's finally out.
Yeah, finally out. I cannot be more pleased with it. After Palestine on a plate, I was really so overwhelmed by how well received it was by people, even people who know how to cook Arabic food. They were buying the book really just for supporting it and so on. And then they also found recipes that they haven't seen in a long time or never heard of. And from that interaction, I had an idea when I was writing Baladi, which was to ask people really what they wanted in the book. I had X amount of recipes, and there's only so many things that you know yourself from your family. So I went online on my Instagram, and I just posted a video and asked people what they were looking for. And within a couple of hours, I had hundreds of emails from everyone, from dishes I've never heard of. And then I had to go to my mom and my aunties and ask them, have they heard of these things? Of course, they're like, yes, of course we've had them, but I've never eaten them. And also it sort of brought back things to them that they've forgotten or stopped eating for a long time. So it was a real sort of different approach to it, getting people interactive in the book, because I think there was only so much I could put into Palestine on a plate, and Baladi just sort of grew on its own with other people, and I loved it. I thought it was such an interesting way to get a book done. So yeah, I hope everyone is happy, because I think that's pretty much it. I mean, how many more dishes can we have?
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's so great that everyone can feel a part of your book and that they've somehow contributed, and it's just this like almost collective effort and
a community.
Yeah, exactly. Just have a sense of community. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And like you said, you always ask your mom and your aunts and everyone about certain recipes, and that's something I've noticed is having Auntie Najla's something dish. And how do they feel seeing themselves in print? Are they like excited?
They're very excited. I think again, bringing them into the books is really why the books happened in the first place. It was really mainly because of them. My mom learned from someone, and whoever she learned from somebody else. It's just sort of passing things down through different people. I couldn't put everybody's name in the first one, and they were little squabbles of who was going to come into this one this time. You had two times in the first book, I need this one. And so yeah, everybody's covered now.
Perfect.
And I had a lot of people saying, it's really nice that you do put other people's names, of course, because I don't know all these recipes myself. Now I do, obviously, but you have to sort of pay a tribute to where they come from, not just the person, but also
the
Palestine and Syria and Egypt and Lebanon and so on. We have, obviously, everyone traveled, all my aunties scattered to different countries, so they were influenced by other things. So this is why this book is sort of a Palestinian base, and then additions on top of other countries where they were influenced by throughout their growing up after the Nakba and so on. So it's a really, I'm really, really happy that they're all part of it.
Another thing that really stands out about Baladi is definitely the pictures. Yes. The pictures are gorgeous. Like, you've managed to get pictures from all over Palestine.
Yeah.
Like, can you tell us a bit about how you were able to do that?
Yeah, initially we were going to send somebody there to take photos, and then I thought, why would I get someone who's never been there to take pictures of a country from a different lens? And then again, I did the same thing on social media, and I asked people if they wanted to contribute pictures. Again, floods of emails, photos. It's the most incredible amount of pictures we had to look through, and we chose 15 different people, Palestinians living everywhere from Gaza to Jenin to Ramallah, Al-Quds, and back in Hebron and so on. So it shows, you can see, I can see who is who in the photos, but you can also see the different styles of photography in the book. And again, the book is a travel through Palestine, through different parts of Palestine, not specific locations in particular, but sort of like from the north into the south, the coastal area into the center. And without them, it really wouldn't have worked. The whole point is Baladi, Baladna, Baladkum, it's for everybody. And I love it. We have nearly, I think, over 100 pictures of Palestine in this book. Last time we had, I think, 12 in the first few pages, but this is scattered through in between recipes, double pages, which is really was my aim, to have actually like a celebration of Palestine.
I think it gave people a connection to this place, that most people have only heard of. Even Palestinians haven't actually seen it, so it's really nice to give them like a window into actually seeing
Exactly, and for me as well, when I
Yeah.
saw some of the pictures, I called one of the guys, I said to him, is this actually Palestine? It looks like you're in the countryside in France or in England. And he said to me, yeah, this is Palestine. This is what I see every day. The trees and the landscape, the sheep. I mean, even the sheep are the most beautiful sheep and goats I've ever seen. They're well manicured. They love their land and their produce, they're looking after
So
what they're
much
going to
care
put
is
into
put
their
into it.
bodies as well. So you can really see that in here. And I look at it every single day. It makes me feel good.
How do you come up with the recipes? And would you consider yourself a purist? Do you feel like, oh, this is a Palestinian dish, so it needs to be like this, but then, you have modern ones that are different, and then you have people who say, like you're butchering thing. So how do you go about it when you come up with recipes, and how do you keep,
I have a lot of recipes that are very traditional, and I keep them like that. I think they just don't need to be messed around with, which is important because I want to show like traditional things from Palestine. And other things, it's just sometimes things that happen by accident. I'm missing an ingredient and then I have to just change it, and it works. So I keep it, and I think like I have a little file where I think, okay, that worked. It's not traditional because I've used X, Y, and Z. And I have a chocolate and labneh cake in there. I mean, it's not Palestinian, but it is because of the labneh. I mean, even the labneh is not Palestinian, but it is because it's mine. So I have Sultan Ibrahim, like a ceviche style, because my grandma used to live in Jaffa and by the coast, and she used to eat loads of fish. And I made something that she gave my mom, but I thought I'll just give it a slightly modern thing. She did not eat raw fish, for sure.
Yeah.
So instead of just grilling it, I marinated it in shatta and just left it overnight and served it in a pita with pickled onions, and it was amazing. It was just something I thought of. I wanted to sort of show slight creativity, and again, I do say that this is not Palestinian, but it's from an essence of home and stories and what have you. So
it's part of you in it, and that's what makes, like you said, that's what makes it Palestinian.
Exactly. And I hope people like it. I mean, there are only a few things in there. Maybe book 3 will just be my own crazy recipes that I've come up with. But for now, I just like putting a few snippets in here and there. I think it's fun and people enjoy them. So let's see what they think. Yeah.
What was your favorite part about writing, let's say, Baladi and like cookbooks in general, and what was maybe the hardest part about writing?
For me, I think for every chef, the hardest part is recipe writing, like quantities, because I cook with my eyes and my hands, and I can just tell that something is right. But then having to take it out and put it back in and so on, this is almost impossible because I didn't learn this way. Obviously with baking and things like that, yes. But saying that, with my mum and my aunties, when they make dough and breads and things, they don't measure anything. It's just with their hands, and they'd feel the dough, and that's enough. But it's like, how much did you put in? And she's like, I don't know, it depends on the weather.
Yeah.
And and what I feel like today and how sticky I want it. So again, they don't use anything. So that's the hardest part for me. The best part for me is writing them, and they work. It sounds crazy because I'm a chef and it should work, but sometimes they don't, because again, when you're cooking freely, it sometimes doesn't translate well onto paper.
Exactly.
But they've been tested, and that's the best part. But also, my favorite thing is the stories.
Yeah.
Just little memories, funny things that my parents and my aunties remember that they've forgotten about, and it's funny. Some of them are really cute, and like the jazar mahshi, I was coring them for hours, and I couldn't imagine my teta. My mom's mom is tiny.
Yeah.
And I called my mom after coring 15 of them 3 hours later. I said to her, what is this? This is the most horrendous recipe. She's like, why? Your teta used to go to the shop and he used to drill them for her, and she'd come back and stuff them. So I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Because we can tell people that this is what I wrote. I told them the story that, it's sometimes deceptive. You think that it's all done by hand, when in fact there are aids around you. So yeah, little things, and also it reminds them of things, and they start having their own sort of memories, and it's
that's the thing I can
nice.
say. Like whenever I look at some of your recipes and stuff, and I like then remember my grandma or my mom, doing this or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, it's very nostalgic. I think, and everyone somehow has some sort of story connected to some recipe or whatever, and it just. Yeah, it is really. It
is important, and it's not just about reclaiming ourselves on some culinary map. It is connecting with people, because in today's age, I'm sure you all know, everyone's slightly detached from everyone, socializing on the mobiles and what have you. And then when they get a book, they read, they connect, and then they start writing and we start speaking.
Yeah.
And I try to reply as much as I can to everyone, but again, I have a rule about phones. Like, I don't want to be on it all the time, so I come back later and I read things and they really touch me, and I feel so proud and honored that I've taken a little space in someone's home or kitchen and affected them in a positive way, and brought something back to them that they haven't eaten in forever because they live away from home or their parents have passed on. And it's nice. Yeah, Palestine on a Plate started something, and this, I hope, kind of brings everything together. And
it's not just about a country. It's like you said, the sense of community and just bringing everyone together. And I think Palestine on a Plate has created that sense of community, and then Baladi has just like solidified it. Basically. I don't know if you can pick one, but what's your favorite recipe or recipes from Baladi?
I wouldn't have put anything in there if I didn't like it, number one. I think a lot of the not the starters actually, but the beginning chapters of the book, I love. They're very quick, sort of egg and
so the
full,
breakfast
and
got me so excited about like.
Yeah, there's one which is like a soft-boiled eggs with yogurt, lemon, chili, olive oil. It became a staple for us, and I made it for a lot of people. I used to serve it in my restaurant as a breakfast option, and people loved it. So that whole chapter is great for me. And then also, I think I love traditional stuff. Jazz mahshi I had not tried before until we were making this book, and I adored it. You know, the flavors of this lemon and the garlic, and it was fantastic. So, I mean, every day my favorite dish changes. It depends on my mood, but today I think jazz mahshi and the soft-boiled eggs, and maybe warbat bil ishta. I think it's delicious. It's always on my mind. I love it. It's simple, doesn't take too long to make, and lots of other dishes are also quite easy to get to. People have a fear of things and they stay away from them even though they love them. Like I had an image of wara ainab in the first book to show like step by step how to make it. And just those 4 steps made people make it because they didn't know how to flatten it and fold it and roll it, and it takes 3 seconds. So my aim is to sort of bring my favorite recipes, which are everything, by the way, and make people see that they don't take too long physically to make.
Simplify them.
Yeah, and if you have groups of friends, you can come and make them together and so on. So it's just, I love everything. Just a variety of things. So I'm hoping to start maybe like a food product line, which I'm working on. It might not come to life, but it's something that I want to see out there in supermarkets. You know, we have like 20 different kinds of hummus, which is okay, but there's so many other things that are amazing from back home, not just in Palestine, but the whole of the Levant region. So that's my next step, and then just doing consulting work and events and supper clubs, cooking lessons and so on. I really enjoy that. I meet people, I interact with them, and I learn from them also. So it's not just a one-way thing. It's without people, this doesn't work. I love what's happening also, that there are so many other Palestinian cookbooks that are coming out. I think it's really a lot of people are saying, how come now? I said, why not now? It's been so long, everyone's been calling it by something else, and we need to be vocal about it. I think it's really important. I don't like to constantly bring political things into it, but it is at the end of the day, and the majority of it is pleasure and life and celebration and so on, but the reason why they're all coming out is because there is such a big voice needing to come out of people to say that we are here and this is our food from historical times, not just from the last 50 years. It's generations and generations ago. So let's see what happens. I hope there's more and more coming.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure as always. And I just look forward to more and more projects with you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. I'm so happy to be able to talk with you about this and get other people to get involved. And just, I wanted to say also, my US publisher donates $5 from every book sold to the House of Friendship in Palestine in Nablus. So, there's always something to give back. The support is not just for the book, it's for bigger causes behind the scenes. And I hope people support it too. Right, thank you.
Thank you.